So this might be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I think that when we don't know what to do, the best thing to do is nothing. And this is something that I really take on in my life. And it's not the same as procrastination or resistance to taking action, but rather it is willingness to take an extra moment until alignment is clear, until we've looked in with with guidance and can feel into ourselves again, because the body always knows. And when we don't know, we're either disconnected from our bodies and actually so much in our heads that we can't really hear what our guts and our wombs are telling us, our hearts are telling us, or we're not actually meant to know just yet. This is something that I've learned throughout all the years of shamanic apprenticeship, is really learning to listen. Something that I continue to work on and learn. But the importance of listening, knowing that we can either run our lives from here, which is a quite limited way of running our lives, because there's only so much we can think and plan and strategize from our limited brains and egos, or we can run our lives this way, where we're really allowing and calling in divine guidance to support us. And that's where miracles happen, and that's where we can tune into so much more of our genius and potential and the magic of life and opportunities that we would have never been able to even think about, the realm of infinite possibilities, right? And so when we are willing to take that extra moment to breathe, to get into our bodies, to slow down, to listen, to be silent and listen. Whether it is listening to ourselves or listening to divine guidance, call it however you want, but taking the moment to move from the pace that most of us are used to, just by default of living in this society. Like go, 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 do, hustle, 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 force, noise here, noise there, listen to others, seek for answers outside of yourself. When we move from that pace to one that goes inward and slows down and drops in and opens and surrenders our own personal agendas and our own ideas of what's best and what's right and all of those things, and really take a moment to listen to and from our bodies, everything changes. This analogy came through when I was speaking with a friend that was considering what action to take on something that wasn't clear for her yet. And her and I love food. We share a love for food. We're such foodies. So all the analogies that were coming through were food analogies. But basically what I said was, sometimes we can smell something cooking. We can smell cookies in the oven, for example, and we can think that because we smell the cookies, we must go and eat the cookies. But sometimes the cookies are not ready. I made cookies the other day, which is why this came through. But I was like, sometimes the cookies are not ready yet, and we're not actually able to eat them just yet. They're burning, they're wooey, they're soft, and it would actually hurt us to eat them as they are. But because we smell them, we think, I must go and eat the cookies. But the smell is just letting us know that cookies are coming. The smell is just letting us know that cookies are in the oven, that they're being prepared, that life is preparing that for us, and they're coming. But when it's time to eat the cookies, or what flavor or shape the cookies are gonna have, it might not be time to know that yet. And so even when we know that there's something coming, even when we know that there is a turning point where we feel like we need to decide this way or this way, even when we know that there's an action that will be needed soon, if your body is not clear yet on whether you go left or you go right, the best choice is to actually stay in your center, connect with your breath, connect with your body, open and receive clarification, receive clarity, center. The worst that can happen is that you are more grounded, feel calmer, your body, your blood becomes more oxygenated, and then you make a decision anyways. So coming back home to yourself and taking an extra moment, defying this idea that we need to rush and create a sense of urgency out of everything. Of course, there are times where urgency is there and it's a reality, but the vast majority of the times we have space to actually center, ground, and take a few breaths, and we don't. So this is a reminder that the answers are always accessed from within, and that there is so much more magic and potency available to you when you become available to it. One of my spiritual teachers says that everything happens on a need-to-know basis. So you always know what needs to happen on the very next step, because that's all you need to take, the very next step. Once you've taken that very next step, then there's another very next step to take, and that's all you need to take. Like really, you can't take step 7 without taking step 1, so all you need to know is on a need-to-know basis. Life reveals its secrets and guides you on a need-to-know basis. So in the same way, when you have already received clarity, and when you know, let's say you know you want to join that container, you know you get to end that relationship, you know you get to have a certain conversation, you know you want to go to that place, when you ignore that knowing, that is blocking you from getting the next answer, the next step, the next piece of guidance. Which ultimately tells us that there are 2 things in this conversation to pay attention to. Number 1, can we take a step back, or just fully stand where we are actually, and take a deep breath and connect with our bodies and connect with our breaths and tune in and open to guidance and clarity whenever we're not clear? And also, can we stop getting in our way when we have already received guidance on what the next step is? Can we stop resisting what we know gets to happen anyways, and just find a way, make a way out of no way, get uncomfortable, get messy, get vulnerable when needed, so that you can fulfill that next step, so that the next step later can be revealed.